Welcome to the finale of Disney Fighting Evolution, a 10-year conflict that emerged in the Disney alignment of my shared universe concept. I'm AJ, and the finale will be composed of one thing: the final battle of the Disney Civil War. So many moments had occurred between the two factions of the alignment and several story arcs, but now it has all come to an end. And it all depends on who comes out alive to run the company. In September 2017, following the abrupt end of the Second Descendants battle in August, Neo Disney leader DJ decided that if she was going to beat Mickey and the rest of original Disney, she will have to deploy the full force of the faction. Likewise, Mickey felt the same way. Considering the property damages from the battle, if he was going to fully purge Neo Disney, a full-scale assault at their location was necessary. And if this sounded like a perfect storm brewing, that's because there was one coming. It was hurricane season, and it just so happens that this year, the dangerous Hurricane Irma would be passing through Florida. So much so that Orlando parks had to be closed, making it a perfect excuse for the final battle. For the classic Astral Souls not competing in the fight, Mickey ordered them to evacuate to Toontown. There had been a portal to the realm in California since the 30s, a realm that once housed Disney, Warner, and Viacom alignment Astral Souls, but laid dormant post-World War II. Meanwhile, the two leads that started this conflict were in a dilemma. Maleficent knew that from this battle, she would live the rest of her days knowing her former best friend was killed by her hands. Grimhilda also felt the same way, that even if she killed her friend, her cloned daughter Maul would somehow get revenge if she survived the war. The last few days before the fight, both moms spent time with their children and those close to them, anticipating the worst if it came. With what remaining clones Neo Disney had, they deployed all of them. The mainstay members of original Disney's army were also deployed. Mickey and DJ stayed in the back lines while the usual matches occurred on the front. So many clashes occurred in all four parks and in Disney Springs. A full-scale battle occurred in the resort. Most notably, the Belle clone was distraught that Miss Lilith killed her son in the prior battle, and there was no way to bring him back now that the cloning chambers were destroyed. But since she had an unlikely chance to kill her, she still ordered to have one final showdown with the digital creature. Miss Lilith changed into her more powerful form Mastamon in order to respect her request. And while this fight was lopsided to original Disney's favor, the Belle clone fought till her last breath, clinging on to the ideals of Neo Disney until she was slain. Eventually, DJ made her way to the battlefield, and took out some original Disney soldiers, beckoning for Mickey's arrival. And when he made his grand appearance, Mickey went all out, sporting his sorcerer's attire, his keyblade, and all within his human form, doubling his strength. Even though DJ does not have any body modifications or magic herself, her sheer willpower and human training made her go toe-to-toe with the mouse. While their fight was cathartic, the real e-ticket attraction of the final battle was between the storyline's two leads. Seto and Maul had their usual fights, but it was their mothers, best friends and partners turned enemies that decided to wager their lives to end the conflict that they initially challenged 10 years ago. Both initiated their most powerful forms, and they were off. Their fight circled all throughout the resort while causing collateral damage in the process. At one point, Maleficent attempted to drown Grimhilda in the waters of World Showcase, but was stopped by Spaceship Earth blasted off its stands from the battlefield and rolled towards their direction, giving Grim enough time to escape. From both the nature of the storm and the battle itself, the resort was almost leveled to the ground. For their children, Seto was severely wounded by Maul, but got second win using both his digital and human traits together. Maul also using more of her dragon-type powers inherited from her mother. While Mickey had magic, DJ anticipated his tricks and found a way to pin him against a wall and beat him senselessly. At last, the two leads circled back to Magic Kingdom to have their proper final confrontation and continued to beat each other even more. Ultimately, both women were severely injured, blood covering the main stage, but with their remaining strength, Maleficent and Grimhilda put all of their energy into one final strike. Everyone in the resort heard and felt the force from both leaders' attacks, an indication that the war had officially ended. But who won? Grimhilda pushed Excalibur far into Maleficent's heart, while hers was gripped by the dragon's claws. In an act of desperation, both women ironically fell in the same position. They both led a side in a war to which they believed would change the alignment for the better, but it ultimately cost them their lives. Upon arriving to the stage, Seto and Maul were horrified to see their mothers locked in a fatal position. But almost psychologically, their corpses told them that there was no need for bloodshed anymore, and that they should work together to build a better Disney, something that they failed to do. Mickey and DJ followed suit, seeing the stunned children look at the stage, and in a stroke of luck, the storm swept the bodies away, departing them from the physical world. By this action, it was made clear that following the amount of death, destruction, and sacrifices, Neo Disney and Original Disney entered a treaty. The next few days, the alignment would slowly recover back to regular business. The survivors of Neo and Original Disney merged into one group known as the Disney United Army that would be deployed for extreme situations. While there was no plan to rebuild the cloning chambers, the actions and lives of the deceased clones would be memorialized for those who would want to know about Disney's messy history. Disney World suffered over $100,000 worth of damages from the storm and final battle, with the reconstruction already underway. Seto and Maul made it their full responsibility to pick up their mother's mantle and live the lives they wished for them, becoming close allies in the end. And as for DJ, the one who wished to see Mickey fall all those years ago, she felt satisfaction in seeing the mouse become humbled and realizing the consequences of his action led to the death of so many employees and public distrust from the other alignments. But before she departed back to the Warner alignment, she respected his actions as a leader, knowing now things were going to change. But deep down, Mickey still could not understand the reason for Grimhilda and Maleficent's self-sacrifice to end the war. Two of his most popular employees were dead and had no intent on being revived. But with the assistance of his co-owner, it was made clear that their deaths were the right thing for the alignment. A wake-up call to see Disney change for the better for both normal and astral souls. Two brave employees that challenged the norm of the company in the hopes of ushering a brighter future. And in the end, what are usually depicted as villains, in turn became heroes to the Disney alignment. And so, that was Disney Fighting Evolution, a storyline that was pivotal to the Disney alignment. Now of course, there were conflicts before and after this storyline, but this was the real meat of all of Disney and Shareverse. A 3-year war that would later see major changes in the alignment. This storyline was a lot, and certain story arcs had to be planned around to be portrayed in video format. So if you like the storyline, make sure you like and subscribe, because there are other storylines within Shareverse that are equally as interesting as DFE. With that, I'm AJ, and I'll see you all in the next one.